It's a guy on Twitter that commented on our Twitter account and
Is
was
that
like,
me?
yeah, I was just wondering if it was you.
No.
Basically, the tweet says, the tweet says, this is the greatest podcast ever, except for their review of my straight to IMAX release Tenet, which I thought was hilarious. And I was like, is this Dan?
I mean, I'd like to say that I have a whole cadre of fake accounts that
I
I post
assume
things
you
with.
do. Just for the record, I assume you have a ton of aliases on the social medias.
No, those are just for Reddit. You know, when I'm on Reddit,
Okay.
yes, and when I'm on
Putting my own
4chan,
opinions on Reddit.
4chan and 8chan, yes.
Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. It's Hey Watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan in a different location.
And I'm Tony in the same place as always.
Tony, you got to move on with your life. Do something.
Listen, being mobile is hard because then I have to move things, which is equivalent to work. And I try to do the bare minimum work at all times.
Tony dreams of like being strapped into the mobility chair.
As long as the chair is the one that kind of goes upside down so you can stretch out your lumbar every once in a while, then I'm all set. I'm all set.
I thought you were going to say you have the one that can walk up and down stairs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this...
that too.
Yeah, you got to be able to go upstairs. How am I supposed to get to my bedroom?
So on this show, we watch movies before we do this show. Then during this show, we talk about said movies ad infinitum. And so we figured... We get to pick a movie, but not this time. We didn't get to pick a movie. This is a viewer's choice, our second ever viewer's choice, where someone suggests a terrible movie, and then we go and do it. What was the first viewer's choice we did?
Oh, don't put me on the spot like that, Dan. I don't remember, but I remember it being good. It was a movie that was related to a different movie we did, and they were like, if you didn't like this movie, you should check out this movie with the same person.
And we didn't like it, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, it was worse. It was Bicentennial Man is what they commented on, so that it was Jack. Nailed it!
Jack. Ooh, that was our all boner
that was a very boner-centric episode. Yeah, you're right.
So this time...
It's had boner his whole life, Dan. I can't get over it. I'm sorry.
So this time we're going to Pandora. To live the world of James Cameron's Avatar 1.
Or to sleep a bunch. Either one. Either one's good.
2 hours and 40 minutes. 2 hours and 41 minutes. I think it was 2009?
Yeah, 9 sounds right.
2009. Right. James Cameron, he put out some movie that did well, and then he put out Titanic.
Titanic.
That's a Japanese monster. Titanic.
I love it. Oh, is it really?
No, but it could be.
Oh, it will be now. You're starting this trend.
So he put out the boat movie, and then he was like, I want to do this other movie that I thought of when I was 14.
That makes sense.
There's your clue.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. All right.
And then he's like, but I can't do it. So then he became like a guy that lifted the Titanic off the ocean, and then he swam with eels, and he just did all this stuff, and then...
Well, you got boatloads of money, so you can do whatever you want, really.
Yes, dude can do whatever he wants. He has his own little video effects company, which I didn't look at, but I'm sure they do video effects for everything.
He has a great arc in Entourage, so I mean, he's doing great stuff.
Got time to do Entourage, so then he's like, okay, I got to go back to this movie. They put together the little sizzle reel, little 3-minute scene, and they take that into the 20th Century Fox execs and like, look at this. And they're like, we're worried, but you're James Cameron. Make the movie. So
is this how real is this story right now?
True.
What were they worried about? Did they elaborate when you saw this?
You mean the execs?
What were they worried about?
Because they had to give him so much money. It's a lot of money.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. It's like a $1 $4,000,000,000. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they were like, oh, well, looks good, and you're a guy, and so you're a white male, so it's going to happen.
Well, but he's good. He's good. I mean, he makes Aquaman in Entourage, so he's good.
He complained about Aquaman the underwater scenes not looking underwatery enough.
Oh, well, because they don't. So that makes
He was
perfect
correct.
sense.
He is correct. So he shows them this. He makes this movie. It costs a lot, but it's super blockbuster hit. Everybody loves it. It's the greatest movie ever. The only person walking out of the movie disappointed was Tony Jr. when Tony was young. And then he's like, and number 2 is coming out in 4 years, and now 15 years later, or whatever it is.
Yeah, a whole lifetime.
They have a thing where it's like 2 is coming out here, 3 is coming out here, 4 is coming out here, 5 is coming out here. They all have names, and they all, I guess, have the same plot as this first movie.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he already stole. Why would you come up with a new plot if you didn't even come up with an original plot for the first one? Just keep doing the same thing. If it works, don't fix it.
So that's by way. So Tony, you could say something now.
Here's all I'll say is that means that there's about 15 hours of this same bullshit somewhere coming down in the future, and I am not here for it, Dan. I would like to make a stand. I'm going to sign a petition online on one of those, what is it, petition.org, or whatever the hell, it just to stop James Cameron. We need to stop him in his tracks, but not violently. Just like veer him onto better movies.
Oh, he can't make better movies.
Wrong! Have you seen T2? Judgment Day? That's a phenomenal film.
Yeah. Did he
Aliens?
write that?
Aliens was way better. Oh, I guess I don't know if he wrote. I mean, he directed.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. We probably should have looked into that, whether or not he.
Yeah, Mr. Doing my homework. You should have done more homework, Dan.
We got a lot to talk about with this movie. Just this movie, we got a lot to talk about.
I disagree.
So I watched this movie, and I got to the end. Well, yeah, I got to the end, and I said, "Is this a bad movie?"
Yes.
Tony said yes.
Oh, sorry. Was that not a real question?
I think this movie is actually an avatar of a movie. So when you're supposed to go into this movie, you're supposed to subsume yourself into this world and into this character, this Jake Sully, who is completely blank. There's just like nothing there. And so
you think that that's on purpose?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. Okay, I see.
No, I'm trying to figure out why this movie was popular. And I mean, I understood. I went to saw it. I went and saw it, and saw it when it was out, and I was like, I liked it, but there were 2 things that made me want to kill myself.
I bet I can guess what they were.
You're gonna get okay. Guess what? The 2 things that made me want to kill myself.
What's the guy's name? Sam Watermelon. Sam Worthington. I think it's Sam's performance and, of course, the entire story of the film. For real, I know that it's unobtainium. I know that that's actually one of them. But to me, that's like one of the least egregious things that they do.
Oh, you see that? And that's why this show is good, because you and I have very separate views of the world, which is good. That's how the world works.
We do.
My 2 things are unobtainium. Just come on.
I mean, I get it. It's real dumb. When the first time you hear it, you're like, no, that can't be right. That can't be right. But
and the second one is the final fight when the guy's in the mech suit and he pulls out the big knife.
When Jake pulls out the knife,
no,
or the guy in the mech pulls out. Got it.
The robot has a giant robot-sized knife that looks exactly like a Bowie knife, and I'm just like,
you're absolutely right.
This is literally the dumbest thing in the world. And it's the reason why it's the dumbest thing in the world is because there's no thinking involved in it. Like, you have a mech that can do anything, that can like, it's like, it's the same. And this movie's a lot like After Earth, right? Very similar to After Earth.
So far. Yep.
After Earth, this guy has this weapon that does a million things.
And we don't use it.
We don't even think about using it or showcasing this glorious, glorious thing. And it's like pulling out that knife was just like, it was the laziness that is this movie.
Sure.
And I think that's what you're probably going to say a lot about the story and the plot and the characters and the acting is just the laziness that is incurred when all you're worried about seeing is beautiful visuals.
We have a lot. You're right. We have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
You're the more you talk about it, the more I'm like, oh, I've got lots of things to say. But the one I want to say real quick, let's stick on the mech really quickly because I
Okay.
actually don't understand the technology. Okay. So he
Yeah.
puts on gloves,
Yeah.
right? And that controls the hands of the thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's not like plugged into his brain stem or anything where he's like controlling it with his body. It's just the hand.
Oh, so you're just saying it's not like a robo jock. It's more
I'm
just
just
like
saying,
a
how does it walk, first of all? Because he's not in there on like a treadmill moving away, right? But he's also not using a joystick because his hands are the arms.
I mean, truthfully, I won't say it'd be pretty easy, but in this future world, he should just have like, some pants and whatever, that just
Or it
reads
should
what
be like
he's
a
trying to do.
neural link that just
Yeah.
like plugs into his stem and he's like, oh, now I'm the machine.
But you can't do Neuralink because that's too close to the
To the
avatar
avatars.
principle.
I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. I'm just saying because of that, I don't understand how the mech works. And then here's my biggest problem is the mech when the guy dies falls down. Why the fuck would the mech fall down? Why in
Well,
the world would the mech fall down?
that is a lot of the problems with this movie is if you once you put this movie under the microscope, it just everything falls apart. But if you're there in a big theater with big sound booming at you, and beautiful flying scenes, and a lot of people saw this movie in 3D, so they were even immersed even more.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
that's what this movie's selling. And the thing I thought about right before we even did this was this is the video game generation movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not unlike a video game, which is this immersive thing. And what's back to my sort of Avatar thing, where you're sort of put in there. You're sort of supposed to think you're supposed to be a white male, thinking that you're Jake Sully, and I could
I
do all
would never want
this.
to be Jake Sully.
No, 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 no.
Just,
But you
but
see, you're not Jake Sully. You're like when you play a video game. Do you
yeah.
stop playing the video game and say, "Gosh, I wish I was JoJo the vampire hunter hunting the vampires"?
First of all, yes, I absolutely do. But what I will say is that I'm with you 100%. My only thing is this is a video game I would not finish. Because a video game
Oh,
can only hold me captive so long with visuals. You have to have a fucking story that I'm like, what's going to happen? I want to get to the end. I want to beat this boss so I can see how the story unfolds because you've created such a cool world. This is a video game I put like 10, 12 hours into the 60-hour campaign and be like, well, that was cool. I'm going to move on to something that's a little more engaging.
well, as far as I can tell, that's about what they're going to do with this video game. It's going to be about 10 or 12 hours long.
I mean, you're right.
And and video gamers are happy to spend that 2 hours and 40 minutes to be in this world.
I mean, you're not wrong. Okay, so here's the way I look at this movie. I don't look at it as a video game. I look at it as a product demo. Do you remember the days of walking in the very early 3D TVs where you would walk into like a Best Buy or a Target and they'd have these fish swimming on the screen and you'd put on the glasses, the fish would come out at you? This is the equivalent of that in movie form, where it's, yes, the technology is fucking cool. It still holds up. Like the CGI holds up today. I was shocked. And that's great. There's still nothing there. So like I'm just standing in the store for 3 hours poking at a fish. That's how I feel in this stupid movie.
Tony's poking at a fish.
Poking at a fish, man.
One interesting thing that I saw in one of James Cameron's interviews was because of the mocap, they don't have to do multiple shots. In normal movies, you got to do long shot, medium shot, close up, and so they could do a lot of they could work on the performance,
but they don't. And that I guarantee you they don't. Because here's what I'll say is you do some rehearsals, right, on set, and then you do the wide. You capture the wide, and generally the energy in the wide's a little bit lower. You know what I mean? Like people are still kind of finding their action, their business, and they're kind of finding the moments to feel with each other. And then when you get into your close-ups, that's when you're hitting it hard because you're like, okay, this is my fucking moment, so I'm going to go a 10 out of 10. We don't get the 10 out of 10. We get like the 5 out of 10 that's like, yeah, I kind of know what I'm reacting to. It's okay. Oh, there's a tennis ball, which I imagine is the whole movie. And I just don't feel like it shows to me that we don't do that because we don't get that close up moment where they're like, okay, now I have to really fucking act because all that you see is me. No one feels that way.
Oh, actually, what's her name? I thought did a pretty good job. Who plays Natiri? Is that what's her name?
Yeah, Zoe Saldana. She was great.
She's
a boss.
She's lost in this because she's playing this primitive person that they're. Well, one of the other many big issues of this thing is the idea of primitive man, primitive Navi, and savior white people future tech understanding.
There are a lot of white people, by the way. Did that feel weird to you?
That all the bad guys are white, all the military guys are white, and we just have a couple people of color
that
aren't?
Of them. There's just a couple of people, and I don't know, that felt weird to me.
No, but you see, that's the counterpoint. That's the point they're making. Their point making is that the white people are going to come and do this to the indigenous people.
Yeah, but I get it, but I have a problem with that because honestly, the human race just does it now. Like in this global way, it would be all people. It's not just at this point. Earth isn't just white people. I mean, I guess Earth probably doesn't exist. I don't actually know the answer to that. I don't know. I just found it weird.
No, well, of course, but that's you've got to understand. James Cameron is looking at this like a 14-year-old boy. He's not looking at this like a mature writer.
I wonder in his lifespan what time Dances with Wolves came out. You think it was when he was 14?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. That would have been too perfect.
Oh, what a terrible movie.
Well, it's better than this piece of shit.
Same thing as this piece of shit.
It was 30 years prior, and Kevin Costner's in it instead of fucking Sam Worthington. So that automatically is a better movie.
Yeah. So you have this whole sort of thing where she has to subsume herself into this primitive race, and the primitive race always feels like a dumb primitive race. He never gives them any smarts. And it was interesting. I was like, we just had the new Dune movie, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the new Dune movie?
Hell yeah, I did.
So I was like, I'm going to watch the first 10 minutes of the Dune movie and see what they do in that movie to sort of subsume this whole thing. That movie starts with a voiceover from, what's her name? Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Also a Zoe? Is that right? No, that's Kravitz I'm thinking of.
What's her name?
I know, Tom Holland's girlfriend.
Tom Holland. So Zendaya. Zendaya. We're calling her Tom Holland's girlfriend. We're the assholes.
I know. We are.
It's her voiceover talking about how these monsters came from outer space and destroying their world, and then it's a whole attack of the Fremen on the spice train. Boom. The idea that this world would have these invader human beings, and they pay zero attention to them. They're like, meh, ignore it. Huh?
Yeah,
I don't understand that. I don't understand.
Because it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. They're just like, oh yeah, we're going to just get along with them. Even though one of the first shots in the movie is a tractor thing coming back and it has arrows in the wheels. We never see that. We never saw that in the entire movie.
Correct.
And it was a promise from minute 2.
Oh, there's a couple of those, Dan.
So let's start the movie.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Let's go. We got a lot of movie to cover.
Okay. Stupid. Okay, so basically the premise is, everybody knows this. This world has a mineral called unobtainium that we want. We're going to mine it. So we're going to displace the indigenous people however we want. But we're going to do this with really casual military that does not belie the need of the stuff. Once again, back to Dune and the Spice. You know what happens to Dune and the Spice? They spend lots of money making sure that spice happens. And the entire universe will change if the spice does not continue to flow. This is like, well, we have 100 guys out here and 6 ships, and we sort of care about it, but not really.
Well, it seems like it's just like a private company. It's not even like a full, right? So it's
not the government.
Yeah, it's all weird. It's all weird.
It's all weird and stupid. So basically, his brother was supposed to go and be one of these Avatar Navis. His brother died or something. We don't even ever see him at all.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I have a question.
Yeah, what's the question?
Now, so they grow this Avatar to be. Oh, he's a twin brother. That's what
he's a twin brother. They got the same genome or whatever this shit.
So the military, this guy, Jake Sully, bad legs because he got shot during war and he's a dumb Marine. And so they're going to bring him in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he lands on the ship flying to this thing, most beautiful ship in
Absolutely.
the history of movies.
The history of movies.
He goes down a shuttle to the surface. We find out human beings can't breathe the air. You're dead in 4 minutes. So you got to wear a mask. There's a refinery, a big mine, wheelchair. He gets in the wheelchair. We find out that it's not the government. It's just a bunch of hired Marines. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay, so let's pause.
Yeah. We're not in Kansas anymore, Joe.
Thank you. Are you telling me that whatever year this is in the future, because it has to be the future, we're still using that? We can't come up with something better than You're Not in Kansas Anymore? A movie from 1950? Holy shit, guys.
1939.
I honestly just took a stab in the dark.
You're probably 11 years off. That's good for you.
That's not bad, right? I was like, it's older.
It's old.
So it's got to be at least 100 years in the past. And you're telling me we're still using it? Come on, guys. Get something cool. Get something clever. I mean, this script is fucking garbage. It's terrible.
I will say this. We didn't spend that much time on typical colloquialisms of now. So I will not fault it too much on having one terrible colloquialism because
that's one of the first lines a human says. And I was like, we're in trouble. And you're right. You're like, they get off the gas pedal with it, but you shouldn't start with it. That's unfortunate. Yeah. But let's talk about Jake Sully real quickly. So his character setup, right? Like, what do we know about his character in this movie?
He has no character.
Hold on. He does. I mean, I agree with you. Throughout the movie, he has no character. At the beginning, he certainly does. He is a grieving brother of his fucking twin.
No.
Hold on. Listen, he should be. Let me rephrase. They're setting it up as if this is going to be an important part of his life. The first things that we learn about him, he's in a wheelchair and he wants his legs back and he lost his brother.
Yeah.
After 3 minutes of this movie, you never talk about either of those things again. Why is it even there? Just start on Pandora. What is it? Pandora?
Yeah.
You start there then. Like, don't give me a backstory of a character you're not going to pay off. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it makes him a cripple, and so we have to carry him around, and they're all plot devices.
That's exactly right. You have to build that into your character then. If you're going to use it, you have to use it. It's almost an excuse. Like it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Give him some fucking feelings. Give him some sort of point of view. He's gone through some shit.
He's an avatar.
Nothing.
He's an avatar. They want him to have nothing. They don't want him emoting anything. They don't want him, he just has to have the sort of casual lusts of the gamer, of the viewer.
Yeah, do you want to have sex with your alien partner? Great, that's all that you need to do.
That's all you need to do.
It's stupid. I hate this movie.
Do you want to be the hero of the story? Yes, you do. Check mark. Do you want to be able to succeed at everything with just the most minor setbacks? Check mark.
Were there I don't even know if there were setbacks.
I watched. There was a setback. There was one. I could point to one.
I trust you. I believe that.
I'm going to point it out because it's funny because we get to that one scene and I was like, I'm going to watch for the setbacks he has to incur, and he incurs one small one.
One little guy. All right, doing all right.
So we meet Sergeant Asshole or Colonel Asshole.
Who I love this guy.
Yeah, talk about Colonel Asshole.
So if we're looking at it as a video game, he's a great video game villain.
Yep.
In a movie, he's a great video game villain. Like he's so cartoony. But on the flip side, like he helps me get through the movie because I laugh at him every time he's on screen.
And he brings it. Every time he comes on, he's like, you want it?
If this was a cheesy 80s action flick, he's a fucking megastar to me. In this movie, that's not really a cheesy action movie. It's just terrible. He doesn't fit in the movie. But that's okay. That's okay.
Well, but he fits in the movie because we need a video game villain.
Do we?
Yes.
We need that? I don't know if we need it.
For this movie, that's exactly what we need. because that's what this movie is. See, you're trying to say, you're trying to imagine what good movie this could be. It's not that.
Because they are telling this is going to be similar to the Olympus Has Fallen thing for me, where
you're being promised these things.
Yes, like if you are telling me you are making a great film and then you deliver this piece of shit, I am extra mad at you. If there were no expectations, I'd be a little more forgiving. But listen, you have overpromised some shit.
When you and that's the thing, when you line this up next to Dune, which also has exposition and all these things, you just
and beautiful CGI. So
beautiful CGI, similar. Beautiful scenery, and I'm sure he had read Dune at this point. When he was 14 years old, he'd read Dune, and this is everybody's like, this is Fern Gully. No, it's Dune.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a bunch of things that have already happened.
Yeah, and it's like, you better think of something new and different that's gonna make some spin in there that's gonna elevate it. And there is no spin in this movie that elevates
whatsoever.
It
no,
other than the visuals being gorgeous.
That had to have been the pitch, right? He's like, imagine Pocahontas, but it looks good. Are you sold? Let's make it $200 billion.
I am sold. So you're an Avatar driver. The big evil guy is about to give his rules. And
we gotta talk about this.
He never gets to give his rules.
He never gets to it because we basically another movie, Dan, just like After Earth, where I am promised that everything outside the walls is going to try to kill you.
Does that ever happen in the movie, Tony?
Nothing tries to kill. One thing, maybe.
There's one scene. There's one scene.
Oh, fucking good for you guys. Okay, not everything. Don't tell me that everything's going to try to kill him if you're outside and nothing is happening all the time.
Once again, I mean, it's really nothing tries to kill him. And more importantly, this idiot touches everything.
He's like a fucking child, and it drives me banana. He's like hitting the mushroom things as he's walking. It's like, why are you doing that?
Like an idiot, right, Tony?
Like a fucking idiot. It's unbelievable.
The second thing, we're going to go back to Jake Sully a little more. He doesn't do like a lick of reading. He barely even understands what this world is, which is absurd because they would have been talking about this world on television, in movies.
You would think so all the time.
You would know all about it.
Or you would at least have things that you think you know about it, and then maybe you can find out that you're wrong. It was you've been misled by the media or something. I don't know. But he's a blank slate in all facets of his personality.
The second thing is, generally, when you're going to bring in a character, you're going to give them some set of skills that they are then later going to be able to marshal into succeeding at a hard problem. What's Jake Sully given?
Or he's just good at everything, it turns out.
No, he's terrible. Well, he's not given anything in particular.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't give him a one thing because anything that comes up, he just can do it.
He just does it.
He's just
arbitrarily.
Good. Yeah, it's just good to go. G to G, that's what I'd say,
So
Not only did the things not try to kill him, Dan, but the first creature that he sees when he's out on the hunt, when he's out patrolling with his gun and the doctor's with him, he pulls the gun on it and she says, "Don't shoot it. It's not going to hurt you." And I was like, fuck you. That's the first thing that he sees on the world after I was just told that everything's going to kill him is don't shoot at it. It's fine. It's not going to hurt you.
Sheetmore says don't anger it and then you'll be okay. Which is
because it's not trying to kill him. Of course, if he angers it, it's going to hurt him. It's giant. If it wanted to kill him, it would have, guys. But it doesn't. It doesn't want to kill him. Nothing wants to kill him. Not even the hostile natives, quote unquote, want to kill him. Nothing wants to kill him. Everything wants to be his friend.
Peace-loving natives. Although they don't like
that.
They don't like tires. Tires, they're not good. They're not.
Well,
good.
Maybe rubber. Environmental impact. I don't know. We don't really delve into it.
Now, Tony, answer me this question.
Yeah, tell me what's up.
Their arrows can't seem to pierce the tractors, but they can pierce the war vehicles. Why is that?
Correct. Well, it's just faulty manufacturing. It's our fault. It's our fault. We're selling cheap vehicles.
The military got cheap vehicles. The miners, they get the good vehicles that protect.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, he's going to be here for 6 years. Wait, does he meet Grace now? Oh yes, he meets Grace. She's there. Talk about Grace.
Is Grace Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah.
Listen, I mean,
what's her job?
What's her job? I know she's a science. She gets samples. She says samples a bunch in the movie, so I assume that's what she wants.
She's a botanist.
So she wants plant samples.
Uh-huh.
So why is she so into the blue people? What's their name again? Blue cats?
Na'vi.
The Na'vi?
I'm going to explain to you why she is.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
They had 2 characters in the initial script.
2 different scientists?
I don't know, but they had 2 characters that they blended together into Sigourney Weaver's character. My assumption is one of these characters would have been the school teacher, and one of them would have been the botanist. They move them together and leave you with just a botanist, and so Sigourney Weaver's character has to cover the school teacher program and the botanist program,
which doesn't make any sense.
And so we're told that they're doing stuff to sort of reach out to the Na'vi by building them a school so that all the Na'vi understand English somehow. We never see this school. We never understand the ramifications of this school. We never have a word about what the school had meant or anything else, but automatically the Na'vi are okay with a percentage of the humans.
Yeah, pretty good.
And it leaves this giant hole in the movie that makes you go, well, why didn't we put any of this in the movie? Because it would have just been more boring stuff that Tony was bored about in this movie.
I'm bored about everything in this movie, though. So even the action scenes are boring, and we'll talk about them more when we get there. The one thing I want to say about Sigourney is I get paychecks. I get it. I want a paycheck. You want a paycheck. We all want paychecks.
Big time.
But try a little harder. You know what I mean?
There's nothing here for her to try. What is she supposed to try?
Let's take Giovanni Ribisi as her counterpart. He's doing stuff. He's trying. He's got a point of view. He's he put a little character on it. He's great.
Oh, well, I'm going to go back to the other. Let's go to the core of the movie. Wants. What are the characters' wants? What is Sigourney Weaver's want?
I don't know, Dan.
Exactly. That's why she has nothing to play.
None of the good guys want anything.
Nope.
The only people that want thing are the 2 bad guys.
Yep. That's why they're the only 2
bad guys.
That's why they're the only 2 characters in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's why you're left with, we don't even start with an evolution of his character. I mean, he should have come in as a space marine, and then that's the evolution.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Yep, it's
ridiculous.
He's gung ho. He's like,
yep,
fuck these backwards people. I don't fucking care about them.
And I know people didn't necessarily love it, but kind of like Halo. Did you watch Halo at all? The TV show?
I started it. I probably went 3 or 4 episodes. Super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's a badass space marine that just kind of goes a little soft. Not soft, but goes against his programming, essentially.
Something happens. And
yes,
something happens to the character. But yeah, Jake Sully comes in as a zero, is carried through a plot, and then becomes a savior because indigenous people are garbage.
Yeah.
That's the plot of the movie.
Being alive. They're bad at being alive in their own planet. It's weird.
Bad at being alive in their own planet. So yeah, Giovanni's there putting, and
and I love him.
He's fine. So Jake's going to be their security because let's talk about the Sigourney Weaver, Grace's character, and the Jake Sully relationship. What's their relationship?
She doesn't like him at first, right?
Real, yeah, kind of. But then she's comforting to him one minute, then she's like, "You're an asshole" the next minute.
And then she sees that he's good as the Avatar. Then they're like best friends.
Yeah.
Now, Speaking of
But
Avatar,
there's no change. There's like each scene.
no.
They'll just be sort of a pick of how she's going to
Yes.
interact with them. Oh, you're an asshole.
They don't
Oh,
go
I
through
love you.
some shit together. Yeah,
No,
and like
they do.
bond.
They have
which
no
they should.
bonding situation. Never
They should
for
be
even a
at
second.
odds,
Nope.
and then he needs to win her over, and then they
Yep.
have to work together. You know, the
Yeah.
classic story.
Movie shit.
Movie shit, guys. The one thing I do want to say is that she, a beautiful woman, but they make her avatar
so homely.
like it's just weird. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. Everything's weird.
They make her avatar weirdly manly.
Yeah, but did you notice what she's wearing when she comes out for the first time?
It's like weird crop top and shorts.
Sure, but what does the crop top say? It says Stanford. So they got her avatar to fit into a Stanford shirt just so everybody knows that she went to Stanford. Who the fuck cares about Stanford on Pandora, dude? They don't know what it is.
Oh.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's actually the smartest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Shut up, Dan. I don't want to hear your nonsense.
Because people from Stanford, they want everybody to know they're from Stanford.
I know, that's what but even on Pandora.
Yes, of course. But I mean, as a comment, that's actually a really good comment because those people are. But if she was playing that character, where you're just like,
right, but
you're an
she's not
insufferable
really.
piece of garbage.
Yeah. No, I mean, Stanford, we should go to her office and there should be like a Stanford pennant on the wall, maybe like a picture, a frame with her in her cap and a Stanford. Listen, if you're going to do it, you better do it. Don't just have one random scene where she's wearing a Stanford shirt in a giant blue avatar. You have to have that specially made. I don't know. It's so weird to me.
We're not even through one page of the 7 pages I have.
We haven't talked about anything real, and it's been 40 minutes. We're in real trouble, Dan.
Okay. Now we get the information of this whole situation is on the brink of war. Who's on the brink of war?
I couldn't tell you. Nobody that I've seen. That's for sure.
No one's planning
pretty
war.
Much just the sergeant guy. He's the only one that's on the brink of war, and that's just because he keeps trying to get a war started.
Yes. Let's start a war so you can go and die. Once again, this planet is the most hostile environment known to man.
It's really not.
It's really not.
I mean, other than you can't breathe the air, it's totally fine.
So Jake avatars, and then he doesn't listen to anyone, and then he rampages, and then he runs around. And then Grace, who was just calling him an asshole, goes over there and like comforts him and is like, "You're cool dude. What a
because
cool dude
as soon
you
as
are."
he was good at it, she's like, "Oh, cool, great, I love this guy," which is stupid because he just broke all of the rules, zero protocol, broke all the rules, broke a bunch of machines in your fucking scientist room. He didn't care. And here's why this annoys me. It's because again, this is a character trait that he could have.
Yeah.
Where he like defies orders. He's a hotshot. He's a maverick, but he's not. He never does anything ever again. He has no real care. He morphs into whatever the scene needs. It's so dumb. I hate him.
Almost like he was an avatar.
Stop saying this. Oh my god.
First night, he goes back to the chair. We meet Michelle Rodriguez's character named Trudy. Thank you. Thanks, James Cameron. Trudy.
I didn't even realize that was her
That's her name. I'm sure she loved that name.
Yeah. Another character that I enjoy. Or actor.
I love her.
Another actor I enjoy,
Shannon just dropped her book because she's kind of
Is she mad at it?
No, she's drunk.
Tough.
It's early in the afternoon when she does her drinking.
A little champagne, little wine, and books. I love it. Good for you.
A little wine?
Yeah, like a little 3 bottles. You know what I mean?
She's glaring at me. She's like, "Shut up! I haven't had a drink in 10 years." That's true.
Michelle Rodriguez. Let's just finish this thought here real quick.
She immediately accepts Jake in his wheelchair. Doesn't do bullshit Marine stuff, which is like, okay, that makes sense-ish.
Because she's too cool for this movie. Just in general, like all the things she does are way too cool for everybody else. And I wish that Jake Sully was cool like her. That's what I want from him. Is I want him to be cool and then learn to be like a
Oh,
regular guy and be like, oh wait, I love the planet.
I
But he's
figured
not
out why.
cool
I figured out why you hate this movie. Is because
because
he's such a fucking zero.
he's such a dud, dude.
You're
Where's
you're just like
where's my Tom Cruise?
you could have hired Jensen Ackles. You could have hired all
Oh,
these people
Jensen
that
would.
are
This
cool and
movie.
sexy, but they got
You
this
think?
big zero of a dud that drives
Listen,
you
you think
nuts.
this movie made a lot of money now? You put Jensen Ackles in this fucker? You're talking stratospheric, man. Unbelievable. God, I love that guy. Beautiful, charismatic, sexy, dangerous. He's all the things that Sam Worthington is not.
Okay, where are we at? So then the Colonel asshole calls him in there while he's pumping irons, and he's like, "You're gonna be my inside man, and I'm gonna get you your legs." And he's like, "Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah!" You're like, there was almost a character there. He's like, "Oh, who's this guy? Let's be this guy
Right.
for a
And
while."
then he's nobody.
Then he does.
He's
Then
nobody.
that disappears. Day 2, they
He
go.
should. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. I'm sorry, and we'll do the movie after this. You're absolutely right. He should be uh, a grunt.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's what he should.
absolutely.
You shouldn't have to have him go to this guy and be like, "You're going to be my eyes and ears." He should just be that.
Yeah.
He should be one of his guys that just happens to be able to take the avatar. You know what I mean? Like he should. I don't know.
Well, but
so neutral.
He's I'm going to say it again. He's an avatar. So you have to have the NPCs come and tell him what he's supposed to do at the moment he's supposed to do it. Right?
This is very upsetting to me. Yes. I mean, you're absolutely right. I just don't like it. I don't like anything that's happening.
Well, because it's not a movie.
It's not a movie.
It's a
You're
fucking video
absolutely right.
game. We're watching
And
a
not
video
even a
game
good one.
walkthrough.
It's not even a good one because if it's a good video game, I will sit and I will watch the whole thing. There's this in Until Dawn, which I think I'm saying that right, is this horror video game where you like make choices and the story unfolds based on your choices. I watched our friend Tim Stanton play that game start to fucking finish for like 10 hours. I didn't play it all. I watched the whole thing and I was like, that was awesome. Let's do it again and make different choices. I would never willingly watch this movie again.
Well, that's because it's because he. I mean, the truth of the matter is, he makes 3 or 4 choices in this whole movie, and I'm sure Tim made hundreds of choices, all of which send him in different interesting
directions. All the time, and you're like, oh shit, we made the wrong choice. Someone just got their head cut off. We blew it. Oh, it's great.
No, he makes those 7 choices that get you to the ending that they wanted. So day 2, they go out on the first mission. They see some pro lemurs, which of course are not aggressive.
They're not dangerous at all. They're adorable. I kind of love them.
So
stupid planet.
So what is Jake supposed to do on this mission?
What? He's like guarding them, right?
He's security with the gun.
From what?
They start doing some botany. What does he do?
Botany. He just wanders off.
He doesn't just literally wander off. He fucking wanders off. He cannot see them. He does not know where they are. He just wanders and starts touching things. Die, 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 die.
Do you remember Ace Ventura? When nature calls and he's drumming on like the mushrooms in the forest. That's what this guy reminds me of. Just the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh fuck. This is stupid.
What an idiot. And then they get there, he sees the hammerhead, and then Grace runs over and is like, don't shoot it, don't shoot it. And then a second monster comes out and it starts chasing him, and then he has to run away from it, and it's immune to bullets, I guess.
It seemed like it, but later it dies pretty easily.
Yeah, and so then he has to jump off a cliff to escape it, sure. And the creature won't go after him. Although it looks like he can just climb down that cliff face and go after him very easily.
It doesn't seem like it's straight down, does it? Like it feels like there's a gradual decline to it.
And from the distance shot, it's not that high, and there's like rocky outcroppings. And I'm like, that thing goes like this.
Yeah, it's literally a step ladder for him. Like he could just come down in 3 seconds, no problem.
And you know what? That would have been great. He risks his life, and the thing just like. I'm
like, why did you jump, you idiot? That's great. That would be good. What a fun movie we're writing.
Have you ever heard of this video game, arcade game, Dragon's Lair?
Oh my god, of course. Yeah.
This movie is Dragon's Lair.
Okay. I've never beaten it, so you'll have to tell me how it ends.
Well, just the idea of you just like go left, go right.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
play
you
the
don't really
character.
do anything. Yeah,
Now I swing the sword. It's like this character is just like this. It's almost like he's an avatar for us. Like
it's all. What's the word? What's the word? He's almost an avatar. Oh yeah.
So he of course loses his gun, makes a spear, waiting for night. Oh, this is interesting. He figures out how to make like a torch. He's
Yeah.
And he makes the torch, and then later the torch goes out and it's dark, and then everything's bioluminescent. Would he have seen the bioluminescence and not needed the torch?
Guy? No, I don't think this guy would have seen it.
So somehow he figures out he can make a torch out of the sap of a tree somehow.
Yeah.
Don't know how he knows any of this information.
Well, because he knows all about the trees and the fauna from his botanist friend. Don't worry about it, Dan.
Yes, because that he got split up from after 15 seconds of being on the planet.
Also, he doesn't seem that far away from them, right? Am I crazy?
Well,
I feel like they could have fallen. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Tony, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay, I want you to ask me a question.
I'm building. Okay. Hold on 1 second. We got to go back 1 second.
Okay.
His avatar is in the tank. His hair is perfectly braided.
Yes, that is correct.
Who got in the tank and braided his hair?
I think it's his skinny friend.
Skinny friend.
Like he's bored when he's not around. He just does a little braid.
You're growing these things. These are very expensive things you're making. Wouldn't you maybe put a homing beacon inside this thing you've made?
Yeah, a little chip in the wrist there. Yeah,
like we put in our dogs and cats.
Yeah,
and our phones
in the neck, right there.
So stupid.
Yeah, but those are great. I found my cat one time based on that. That saved my life.
There it is. So she's about to kill. Oh, so Natiri shows up. She's in the thing. She's about to kill him, and this little jellyfish flies down and kisses him.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't hurt my friend.
So she doesn't kill that thing because the jellyfish is a sign of the planet loving Jake Sully.
Yeah, how dumb is that? Yes. Opinions? Thoughts?
We had the same name of our mother. Therefore,
why did you say that name, Martha?
And I like that movie, just for the record. I have no problem with that.
You're an idiot. So he makes fire, then he gets attacked by the little black creatures, and then he maybe kills one, and then she comes down and kills them all.
It seemed like he swiped at it, and it made like a noise, but then it ran away, so I think it's fine.
So she then has to fight them, and she kills a couple of them, and then she has to do the special prayer, and then she gets all pissed off at him because he killed an animal he didn't need to kill, which
you wasted meat or something.
Doesn't make a lot of sense because, it's like if somebody kills an animal, she's just going to take it back and they're going to eat it.
Yeah, but it wasn't a sanctioned hunt, okay? So
it's not like there's animal husbandry involved in all of this. Where they're like,
did you have your permit? No? You're in trouble now, mister.
You can only take 2 of those little black, tiny, weird cats that bite you each month because we got to conserve them. So, once again, we're adding this layer of conflict that's not conflict just because we want to have a layer of conflict so she can be pissed off at him. And of course, she speaks perfect English, right?
Yeah, she knocks it out of the park. Yeah, she's very good.
She smacks him. She speaks English. She says, "You're a baby." He's like, "Why did you save me?" He says that. He's like, "Why did you save me?" Didn't say thank you for saving me.
You said it though.
Why did you save me?
It's good. No, because he's an idiot.
But she says, "You have a strong heart. You show no
which
fear."
He doesn't. Which he does all the time.
Hold on. So would he be good at ghosting Tony? And then he says, "Teach me." And then she says, "Sky people can't learn." What is that?
Yeah. Well, it means that they've tried to teach other people that the plants are important and they don't seem to care.
Well, that's not learning. That's caring.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing.
Good.
Because we learn their language. Like some of these people know their language. That's learning, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Grace probably speaks Na'vi, doesn't she?
She does. Grace does. She speaks it like fluently, and then nerdy skinny guy does as well, but not as good as Grace.
Yeah. So
what's his name? I don't remember his name.
I wrote it down and I put that piece of paper on the floor. So
All right, fuck it. I don't care.
Norm. His name's Norm, I think.
Norm McDonald. Got it. Oh,
I think he's Normie.
Normie.
And then more of the jellyfish land on him, and so she's like, "Oh, you're the chosen one."
Yeah. Ugh.
And that means you're the chosen one. That means you're going to do everything else in this movie. And then a bunch of guys ride out of the night, riding the horses, and then they take him to the World Tree. And, okay. They get to the World Tree, and there's her dad and her mom. And Jake immediately goes, "How you doing, sir?" And
goes to shake his hand like a fucking idiot. Oh my god. So stupid.
He's a moron. He like literally is the
dumbest guy in the world.
Yeah. Like
end of story.
Like they wouldn't have given him like a week's training to like you would not send a guy out into the world if he didn't know how to survive or interact with
the most basic of customs is what you need to survive. Like when you go on vacation, you learn to say a couple of phrases in whatever language you're going to, like, where's the bathroom? How are you today? Thank you very much. You learn these things so that you can communicate the bare minimum when you don't know how to do everything.
He comes into every situation as an aggressive white human being.
Yeah, which is, that is what we are, I guess.
If you set him up as an aggressive white human being, I'd buy it. You don't. You set him up as a blank nothing. Yeah, and it's annoying.
Speaking of that, I wish that he was, a little bit of a badass. I really do.
Then I would. Then I'd buy it. I'd buy it if there was some gravitas. But there's when he comes with nothing, I'm like, well, then you got to make him think. Did you watch the Native American Predator movie?
No, I really do. Prey. I want to see it.
You got to watch it because of how they handle it. They handle the Native Americans like they're human beings, like they have normal human relations. They're not a primitive moronic race. They're all very smart. This doesn't
sound like a movie America would make, okay?
Exactly. And that's exactly it. It treats them like they're human characters that are
not a revelation,
broken or backwards or in need of someone. I mean, actually, the people that are the problem are like the fur trappers and all the other people who are
that checks
horrible.
Out. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
So, of course, the mom comes out, pokes him, tastes his blood, and he's like...
That was weird, right?
One of the few things I would say I liked. It made sense. It made sense. Okay.
Can I ask why?
Because it was unexpected. It's different. It's like if he reacted to them in some way, like he understood some, if he deferred to them or did something and they're like, oh, you're actually respecting us. But he comes in there and shows them no respect.
The entire time. Zero respect. Yeah, he never even learns it really.
Yeah, and it's like you said, if he had some machismo in there, I'm like, oh yeah, he's an asshole. He's going to have to learn how to not be that asshole because they're going to put him down every time he does.
Correct, and that's great.
You gotta, it's the newspaper to the nose.
Yeah.
Even though you should never train your animals like that.
That's just what my dad used to do to me. I thought that's. I'm just kidding.
And look how it worked.
Yeah, don't do that to your kids, guys. They're gonna be a mess.
No, do it to your kids. That's how you're gonna teach them. But don't do it to your animals.
You think I turned out okay, Dan?
No, you're terrible. So don't do that to anyone.
That's right.
But I mean, it's it's a shorthand that we
sure. Yep.
We put torture in movies to extract information. We all know that torture does not typically work like that. But
it basically just creates lies, because I'll tell you anything that you want to hear right now just to get you to stop.
Yeah. So maybe if we had actual human interaction stuff, it would make sense.
But we don't. We do not.
Because we're supposed to...
I have a question, Dan.
Yeah.
Do they not know that he's fake?
They know he's fake instantaneously.
Because later,
Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, interesting.
One of the other dudes is like, "See, he's a devil in a false body or something like that."
Oh,
And I
does
was like,
someone
"Wait,
say
do
that?
they not know?" I don't get it. I honestly don't understand. And I wish maybe I'll find that note as we go along. I doubt it. I
I
wrote too many
mean,
notes. But I just don't know. I honestly
well,
don't know the answer.
it's an interesting question, and it would have been an interesting thing to explore in the movie. Alas, they never explore something like that in the movie. Okay. So in the end, they're just like, okay, we need to learn from him for some reason because we don't understand these things.
Anything.
So they're
Yeah.
gonna, even though they used to have a school and everybody learns English, you would have understood exactly how human beings work after about a month.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need to learn anything
if
else.
that. Yeah.
So
if that.
bringing him into their midst, no reason for it. So yeah. So basically, now we just start 3 months of him learning to be a Navi. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to dwell on this too much. It annoyed me when the Zoe Saldana brought him to the people, and then the mom was basically like, "Well, my daughter will teach you our ways," and then she was like mad about it. She's like, "Oh, I don't want to," and I was like, "But why you brought him there? Isn't that what you thought was going to happen?"
More like the boss's mom or daughter. Why does she have to do it?
Also a good point.
More importantly, don't they set up that her boyfriend is like the number one hunter guy?
Well, they're like betrothed. They're not like together, but they're going to get married. You know what I mean?
I mean, it sure seems like when Jake wants to get it on with her, he just says, "Now you're mine."
We got to talk about this stuff. Do we want to jump into
Not
it now?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's so painful. That's for hour 3 of our discussion.
Hour 3. Oh boy, part 3.
Part 3. Oh, maybe we should release this as a 2-part episode.
Well, we'll see how it's. I mean, we're an hour into it, and we're not very far into this movie. But I think the second half will move quicker.
Yeah, I
feel good about it.
I think that's never going to happen. Okay, so he learns how to. He learns how to merge with the horse.
Yeah.
He falls off it twice. Does that seem like a thing that could happen, that you would fall off?
So this is a great question, and my response to that is that I don't understand this entire system of the bond. I don't understand the bond. So here's where my head's at, right?
Yeah.
Is that it's the animal doesn't seem like it's a willing participant in the bonding.
Well, it's about the sentient life form dominating the other life form.
Right. So in my head, wouldn't it make more sense if like you had to like do something, not coerce, but like gain the respect of the animal, and then it presents to you its bond thing, and then you're like, oh, now I've bonded with you, and now it's an equal partnership. But the bird, is it the bird that he like wrestles and just forces his thing in it, and then he says, now you're mine, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is not how you become one with nature.
Does he pull his thing out and insert himself into it repeatedly until it accepts his dominance?
It's fucking weird, dude. It's so weird. And then my biggest problem is later when Nala, nope, this isn't Lion King. What's Zoe Saldana? She is with the big black angry creature that almost kills Sam earlier, and it like bows to her and presents, and I was like, that's what should be happening the whole time. The animals should be like being like, yes, please let us bond. We are now equals, instead of this weird, rape analogy.
Yeah, but there's no. Did you say rape analogy? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Well, I mean, this film is all about dominance, right? Isn't that what this movie's talking about? Is
But the
dominance?
Na'vi are like one with the planet. So they shouldn't be forcing their will onto lesser creatures. It's weird to me. I don't know. I
Really?
don't like it.
No,
I don't like it.
I hadn't thought about that aspect of it, but it's absolutely true, and it follows how everything happens in this thing, where the dominant male form typically dominates all other forms.
I don't like it. And this is the only reason it came up for me is the sex scene. Which version of this film did you watch, Dan?
Is there an unrated, really sexy version where we actually get to see all the boobies?
It's not unrated. There's a deleted scene that's in the extended version.
I did not see that.
Where they plug into each other.
Oh, no,
and
no.
So my thing is, like, that's the way that you've set up the way that this plugging works, again, makes it feel like you could really abuse this. It's just very weird. And like, so I saw that and I was like, I don't like the way that this and the bird where he wrestles it to the ground and then shoves his thingy inside of it. I don't like it. I think it's weird. I think it was a terrible choice, James Cameron. But in the theatrical release, they took that out. So they understand at least that was wrong. Like that's a bad
questionable.
It's questionable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I don't like it.
I agree. Let's see. He is briefing the tree scientist spies.
I found the line. You keep reading your thing. I'm just going to see. He says, "See, it is a demon in a false body." So it makes me feel like they don't know that they're not there. Because it's when he like goes to sleep, I think, or wakes up and then his body goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Which I don't, do they sleep? Does Sam sleep in this movie at all? Because it feels like when he's so awake in the blue, and then he wakes up in the real world and he's just like bouncing. I don't know. I don't get it.
Don't go there. Because how could it work? You're awake 16 as a Na'vi, and then you come back and you fall asleep for 8 hours.
But he's not. He's always hanging out with the people, talking about science stuff. So I don't know.
So basically, Grace is figuring out that he's working for the bad guys. So she's like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go up into the mountains where they can't watch us, and then they can't we're going to fly our little cabin in the woods out there where they can't bother us.
Yeah.
Which certainly seems like they wouldn't be in control of that.
Not only would they not be in control of that, but also it feels like there's a lot of people that have to be a part of the experiments and what's happening when they're at the home base. But then it's just like the four of them that go out and they're like, it's fine. We'll be fine on our own. We don't need any assistance. That's weird.
Okay, so we see let's see, wait. Grace needs me because she wants. Oh, so they set up Grace sort of having a need. They're saying that Grace needs him to do well because then Grace will have access back to the tribe.
Right, because they banned her or something.
Which would make sense if she was the school teacher, but as the botanist, she doesn't need the tribe to be a botanist. You just go be a botanist.
Yep. Just go look at the plants, you idiot.
Botanize. Okay.
Not lobotomize. Big difference.
We also find out that they can bond with these flying things, but the flying thing's a more important bond than with the horsing thing.
Because you force it.
Because you force the thing. I mean, but didn't he have to jump on the horse and grab the horse's thing?
He jumps on the horse, but the horse isn't like trying to buck him off the whole time.
Oh, yeah. No, the horse bucks him off twice, throws him twice. No, actually, once he's bonded, it bucks him twice.
Exactly. Once he's bonded and he says, go, he like falls off backwards because he doesn't know how to ride a horse. That's what I got out of it.
Doesn't make any sense.
But with the bird, he throws a thing, muzzles it, grabs the neck, wrestles it to the ground, and then shoves his thing inside of it. It's fucked up, man.
I shouldn't be laughing, but it's funny.
It's funny because someone thought that this was a cool idea for a movie, and it's not. It's not cool at all.
Okay. So Grace gets into the village. He says something like, I really hope this tree hugger crap isn't on the final. Oh, like when he's back there, he's like, I really hope to. So he he's not enamored with the girl at this point and what's going
Apparently
on.
he's not enamored with the girl or the planet at this point, but it seems like he already was, so it's a little confusing.
Yeah. So Grace is back in the village, and just because of arbitrariness. This is the first time she's gotten back in there since the school closed.
Yes, since the thing happened before.
Then he kills an animal, and then he does the prayer.
Yeah, and she's like, "You're ready."
Did you buy that? Did you buy his prayer at all?
No, not at all. It sounded like he was trying to remember it. Like he doesn't care at all.
It sounded like it was fake, and he didn't care.
Yeah, well, it's rehearsed. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
So we don't buy him. So they climb up to Ura, and then he randomly picks one of the things, even though you're supposed to find the one that means something to you. There's no connection. He just picks one at random.
I wouldn't worry about
it. He gets thrown. Then he rapes it with his thing.
Yep.
And he says, "You're mine." And then they have his flight. And what does he yell at the bird the banshee while it's flying? Shut up and fly straight.
Oh, yep. Yeah, because he's dominating the thing.
He's being rapey.
It's all fucked up. The whole scenario, totally foobar.
And then we cue the Lion King music, and she's... And actually, this is the point at which she falls in love with him. She is just all smiles for him.
I just want to say that right now. I did not fall in love with him at all in this movie.
Because he has shown his ultimate male dominance over the planet, and therefore she accepts him as everything.
Even though they love the planet. So I don't understand that motivation.
Then he says in a voiceover, "I was born to do this. Dominate this world."
Oh, yeah, let's talk about these voiceovers real quickly, because, boy, what a shitty thing that is. I hate it. And they do it for the whole movie.
They just keep plugging him in there for no reason. Why does he need to say,
"I was watching the movie, guys. I get what's happening. You don't need to tell me about it."
Woohoo! No. He sees the tree of souls, which is that's the important tree.
Yeah, that's what the unobtainium is underneath it.
Okay. Grace says something like, "I'd die to get samples." But she wouldn't really die to get samples. She's just saying that because that's a line
she just
she
wants them, sort of.
Okay,
because she doesn't ever risk her life to get them. So,
the big bird attacks them, and they escape from the big bird.
Yeah.
How exciting was that? Big bird escaping the big bird.
It's about as exciting as all the rest of the stuff, and it's not. It's not exciting at all.
3 months. And he's like, so we're getting to the 3 months. We've run the time, and the idea is they have 3 months for him to get the intel so that they can. So he's supposed to talk them into leaving.
Yeah, just talk them into leaving their homeland. No big deal.
He never does anything about that. He just procrastinates and just fools around and has fun, and it's all party time for him.
And until the very end, where he's like, "I knew this was coming the whole time, and I didn't tell you guys. So, my bad." What the fuck?
He said, we got more voiceover. "I don't remember my old life." Because
Me neither.
He had no old life.
Right. Other than his brother died, which he never cared about, and, he's got his legs back. So he doesn't care about anything. There's no reason for that to be in the movie.
So Sergeant Dickhead says he knows he's wavering. He gets him in there, and it's all like, "Oh shit, this guy's wavering." So he's like, "I got your legs. You're on a shuttle tonight." And he's like, "No, I'm going to a ceremony."
Yeah.
And Sergeant Dickhead does what to stop him?
Nothing. Did he do something?
No. He did nothing.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I was like, wait, did he? I just thought he was like, "Oh, okay, well, do you, bro."
He knows that this guy's wavering. He has control over this guy. Doesn't try to exert that control whatsoever. He should have said, "No, you got to go now. This is a shuttle. You don't get your legs unless you go now."
Yeah, this is it. They're only going to hold him for a couple of days.
Then we would have had a thing where he's like, "No, this is too important. The ceremony important." No.
Yeah. No. It's all
It's
good.
supposedly he's going to negotiate the relocation terms at the ceremony.
It feels like the wrong time to do it. I don't know what the ceremony's for at this point, but it feels like not the opportunity to be like, by the way, we got to ship out.
So they paint him up. They have the ceremony. He
Yeah.
hears babies, and now he can make a bow out of the tree. And she doesn't have a boyfriend, and so they have sexy time and they mate for life.
And now, should you be doing it at the tree at like a
Doing it at the tree,
fairly
baby.
important place for your culture? It feels disrespectful to me.
Yeah, everybody wants to watch.
I mean,
See,
I
Tony,
would watch.
Tony,
but
your disembodied voice in a tree. You're gonna want to watch shit, and if they
do
want
it,
to get sexy
guys,
time,
do it. Oh, that's good. That's what I would say is the tree.
Okay, Tony, let's talk about breasts.
Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about blue boobies. Yeah, what's up?
Do we ever see any breasts in this movie?
I would argue maybe. There's a couple of side boob shots that I'm like, I think I see nipple. I'm pretty sure. I was keeping a keen eye on it, Dan. And I'm pretty sure every once in a while she turns to the side and a necklace is there, and I'm like, there's the curve. I see it. I don't understand why. Like, I don't. So for the whole movie, like, it's either her hair is covering it or some weird necklace is covering it. It's just like, just put a top on. Why not just put a top on? I don't get it. I don't get it. I also don't understand their underwear. Like, they basically are wearing thongs-ish, but they have tails. So, like, it goes around the tail. It's fucking weird. The costuming, I mean, it's drawn. It's a CGI. It's fucking weird. It's stupid. It's the worst part of the movie. It's the worst part of this created world. Either show the boobs or don't show the boobs. You know what I mean? Like, don't do these weird things. It's dumb.
Can you imagine all those animators having to make sure everything shifts just right in every scene? Just to cover her stupid nipples. Okay.
Dumb.
So you don't want to say anything about them mating for life and having sexy time?
I will tell you that if the first time you guys do it and your partner then goes, we've mated for life, you're in real trouble. You got to get out the door, bro. Like, that's too much too quick. You got to go. It's the first night. It's a lot to handle. She's very clingy. That's all I'm saying.
Very clingy. Okay, next morning, here comes the big tractor. It kills the tree of voices. He's asleep because, of course, he is. Yeah.
Is this supposed to be funny?
Funny?
Do you know?
I don't think it's supposed to be funny.
They keep cutting back between her, like, yelling and pulling his body. And he's just eating eggs. And I was dying. I was laughing so hard. And I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh, but this is a very funny scene. The juxtaposition of him just being like, oh, these eggs are great. And she's like, oh my God, we're dying. It's fucking hilarious.
So he finally shows up. He goes up there. He breaks the camera.
Yeah, great move.
And what does she do while he's up there breaking the camera?
I think she just watches.
No, she becomes a useless woman crying.
Oh, okay. Well,
she becomes a useless woman crying, which is her through line for most of the rest of the movie.
Which is weird. Well, I didn't really think about this at the time, but she's kind of like a badass through the rest of it, right? She's like
no. Not when the tree comes down.
No, I'm sorry. Previous. I meant like up to this point.
Yeah,
she's been very capable.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, this is the beginning of the garbaging of her character because they're married, right? And so she no longer has to take a primary role in her existence. She has to sit behind a man.
Again, guys, they've only been together for one night. I mean, we are jumping the gun here.
Well, I would think so, but he's a man, and this is the movie, and she better bow down, and she properly does instantaneously because he's going to go defeat that tractor by himself.
But he doesn't do it a good job.
But he breaks the camera.
What the fuck am I saying? Yeah, breaks the camera. Who cares? They got 4 other tractors that have cameras on it, guy. Here's what I will say about this camera scene. Later, it's got to be soon. They're in the command center, and Captain Dickhead, what do we call him, is watching the cameras. And it's clearly Jake Sully. And he's like, pause it. Enhance. Enhance. I was like, what are you talking about? It's him. Everybody knows it's him. They enhance it twice. I just couldn't stop laughing.
So they throw everybody in jail.
Yeah, sure.
And he says, while they're watching that video, it looks like he's found some local tail.
Which is it's a funny line. Because they have tails, Dan.
No, I know.
That's why it's funny. If it was a movie where the characters didn't have tails, I'm like, oh boy, that's chauvinistic. But they have tails, so it's a double entendre.
Okay, so Grace also says something. This is just so terrible. She says something in here where she says, "I'm not talking about some pagan voodoo. This is real."
Oh yeah, that stood out to me as well. It's like, hold up.
Wait a second. So all other pagan stuff just bullshit, but this bullshit. Is real stuff.
This is some science. This isn't magic, okay, guys? Yeah, no, that was pretty insulting to a lot of people.
So Jake gives a speech to the people, and they're like, they're gonna attack you, and then somebody says, "Let me talk to them. You've got 1 hour." Oh no, yeah. Oh no, they're gonna hit the thing, and so Jake's like, "Let me talk to them," and they're like, "You got 1 hour." And he goes there in his 1 hour and is like, "You gotta leave." And
he keeps calling them brothers and like saying he's one of them, and I was very uncomfortable.
They did the ceremony.
Yes.
So then they fly out with the air power, and they just sort of shoot arrows at the planes, and that doesn't do anything.
Shocking, yeah.
But the arrows work later.
Well, because later they're trying harder. It's all about how much you pull back and the resistance and the tautness. I don't know how to use a bow and arrow. You know what I want to say real quickly, Dan? Yep. Remember back when Sigourney Weaver was like, I don't believe in voodoo?
Yeah.
She also went on to explain like the science behind them connected to the plants. And this was her. There's 10 to the 4th trees connections. And then there was 2 to the 10th of the something. And I was like, who the fuck is she talking? Nobody cares about anything you're saying right now. These numbers mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was a bizarre scene to me.
Well, more importantly, it seems like she knew that the tree later on, the tree is going to transfer her mind into the Na'vi, right?
Yeah, we got to talk about that. But yeah,
if I say this, what's the guy that owns Amazon? I say, dude, you're never.
Bezos?
Yeah, we got a planet that has a tree, and this tree, when you're old, we're going to grow another one of yours, and the tree's going to transfer your brain into the other thing. What is he going to do to make sure that tree stays alive?
I'm going to buy the planet, the entire planet, and I'm going to make sure that this tree survives because I can now live forever. Literally, I am immortal. Fuck unobtainium. I mean, I'll do both. I'll fucking dig that up for the next 2 million years because I'll never die. It's unbelievable.
And it's not like there's not unobtainium in other places. It's not like they've found it all.
You see, Dan, that was my question. Is like we're very focused on this one source. It's just like, well, we know it's in the not Earth, but the planet's core. Like, just go look somewhere else. You'll find it. I promise you, you'll find a bunch of it.
It sure seems like, and this planet is literally as big as Earth, right?
It seems pretty big. I didn't even realize there were other tribes until they say later, like, let's call all the tribes. And I was like, wait, there's other people? Like, what is going on here? It's weird. I love this movie, by the way.
I know you love this movie. So they're shooting arrows at them. They're gassing them. And then they just, they blow up the tree.
Is this... No, I think my favorite part of the movie's later. Okay, we'll put a pin in it.
And then Jake has to like tell people to move out of the way. Get back! Move! Good work, people!
Does he say good work, people? I hope he does.
Did I write it down with quote marks on it? I wrote it down.
Did you? Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love it.
And then he leaves. He gives another one of his Jake lines, which is unearned and unbelievable. I was a warrior who dreamed I could bring peace.
Yeah, when?
Well, he didn't. Yeah, maybe he dreamt it. He never tried to bring peace.
Nor did he ever talk about that dream. Because we talked about a dream earlier, and his dream was to fly. And then he flew later, but then he had a different dream to be like, he has a lot of dreams, it sounds like, this guy. I don't know.
Okay, everybody's being refugees. Of course, they take their avatar bodies when they fall down.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Stupid.
It was very stupid.
Then Trudy pulls off the rescue, and Grace gets shot, and then they go to the Avatar trailer in the mountains.
Okay, yeah.
And then Grace says, I'm a scientist. I don't believe in fairy tales.
What was that even in reference to?
I don't
remember that.
It was just some stupid line that someone wrote, and they decided to put it in a movie.
I mean, she doesn't believe in fairy tales. She doesn't believe in voodoo. I mean, there's a lot of stuff she doesn't believe in.
So they go to the Tree of Souls. I need their help, and they need mine. Then he does a whole thing. Sometimes you need to make one big, insane move.
And then, we didn't.
So he goes to get the big bird. The big bird is his big, insane move. Tony, talk about how Jake Sully, through all the things he's gone through in this movie, learned all these things about like the environment and the flying and what it needs to do. Talk about his scene where he does that insane move and defeats the big bird.
I don't remember that scene. I remember him just kind of doing it. It didn't seem all that hard to me.
What do you remember about it, Tony?
All I remember is that I wrote down, Jake got Big Bird. That was it. That's what I wrote down.
This is what happens. He goes on his bird.
Yep, I remember that. He jumps.
He's flying above the big bird.
Right, and then jumps.
And he's like, big birds never expect to be hunted by other birds. Or he says something like, they never expect something to come after them. And then he just jumps down on the bird, and we cut before he even gets on the bird.
All right.
We see nothing about his ultimate move. It just happens. Ostensibly the most important thing in the movie happens off screen. Now, I like this in other movies, right? When we're watching, Ghost Butler, they would have big arguments, and then they'd come out and sort of tell what happened in them because they didn't have a budget or they didn't want to shoot or whatever. It was fun and interesting.
That was out of necessity, so they found a clever way to do it. That's different than just being lazy.
This should be like he should come away like missing an arm. Half his tail is gone.
Or maybe shot in the dark, he loses his legs. I'm just saying, bring it back, guys. You set up this whole thing where he can't use his legs. Like, bring it back. But we don't do it.
That would be the greatest move ever done.
Would that be great?
You're in the pitch meeting with Cameron. The writers' room. Like,
I would be fired him on the spot, by the way.
He loses his legs.
Like, get out.
Booyah.
Get out of the room. You'll never work in this town again.
So, so he's got this. He gathers up all the tribes.
Sorry, they're called clans. I wrote it down. They're clans. I apologize. That was my fault.
He gathers all the clans. There's one big last battle. And
which we got to talk about.
Jake and the guys win, and they drive off the human beings.
Hold on.
Movie
we
done.
We got to talk about one thing. I'm fine if we skip over most of this battle because it's atrocious, but there's one thing we got to talk about.
Okay.
Jake is jumping onto these planes that are going to drop bombs.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this plane is going to drop a bomb. They said, target acquired. And they're like, dropping 3, 2, 1, let's drop. They said, let's drop. He then throws a bomb and crashes that plane, which then explodes the bomb. So his plan to stop the bomb was to crash land the plane and explode it exactly where they wanted to blow it up. And that was supposed to be a victory for Jake Sully. It was the worst thing I have in a movie that I genuinely dislike very much. This was the worst part of the movie.
Yeah.
So dumb.
The other thing I liked in this big battle is they amass an army of 2,000 people.
Yeah, it's not very many. It's not very many.
But of course, when somebody does a line, yeah, but more are coming. Like, okay. Yeah,
And we don't see that,
No,
by the way. So I don't know if they did.
The horse troops, first of all, they drop a bunch of ground troops, which are then going to walk to the tree when they have air troops that immediately outpace them in 30 seconds. The battlefield makes no sense in this movie.
Not at all. That's why we don't really show it as a real battle. We just kind of cut around to things we think look cool.
They drop a bunch of ground troops who are then engaged by a bunch of horse troops. The horse troops literally just right into fire. Just straight into fire and just get destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're not bright. They're not very smart.
They haven't learned anything. And then there's just a bunch of air battles, and then the bad guy finally gets out, and he.
Well, one thing I do want to say is the biggest mistake that this movie makes is they kill Michelle Rodriguez in her helicopter, and it's so unceremonious. It's just ridiculous.
So Michelle Rodriguez in her helicopter, she does something, she shoots something, and then they're like, bah, and they shoot her, and she's spinning out, and I'm like, oh great, she's just going to crash in the forest. Then they shoot her again and kill her.
Blow the entire thing. I was like, what? My assumption,
there was no reason to kill her character.
There was no reason because here's what happened, Dan. In the original cut, I guarantee you she crash lands and she's fine. But then they were like, hey, we're going to sign you on for 4 more movies. And she was like, fuck that. I've already got Fast and Furious. I don't need another franchise. Just blow me out of the sky, James. That's what must have happened.
I don't believe that, but that's okay.
So stupid.
2000 hostile, preemptive attack, no instruments, no tracking, blah, 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 blah. Materi crashes, her bird dies, music, Trudy blows up, house on fire, 2 minutes, blah, 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 blah. Materi finally shoots the bad guy with an arrow. Fuck.
Twice, and then his mech falls over. It still bothers me a lot. There's no reason for this mech to fall over. He doesn't even fall over. The arms would just drop and the mech would stop moving. I'm sorry. Like, that's all that would happen. Falls over. You fucking idiots.
They take him to the tree, and they transfer him into his thing body so he can be that forever.
So let's talk, and we don't have to get too deep into it, but I really find it weird that the culmination of this movie is he becomes one of them.
Yeah.
Not in a metaphor.
Yeah.
Literally, he transfers bodies out of human into a Navi. That, to me, is egregious. I don't like that at all.
Why don't you like that at all?
It's because it's the step up of the white man being accepted. Not only is he accepted, but we can make you literally one of us. That's so fucked up to me. It's so, and then he's like, they're definitely going to like worship him, right? Like he's going to be like a big deal in this society. I guarantee. It's so weird to me. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Like I said, this movie it acts as an avatar for the viewer to sort of think that they could have these things. It's a wish fulfillment. It's like James Cameron. Sure. I'm gonna go to this world and I'm gonna be in this robot suit and then I'm gonna be the world and then the world will be mine because I'm me. It's like
Also, they seem to know that the tree can do this because they try to do it with Sigourney Weaver as well. So this is not the first time that they've created a Na'vi, right? If you think about it, are they all fake?
What do you mean?
Is this race just pod people?
They said at one point that the Na'vi aren't from this planet.
Man, this is all weird, dude. If they're not from this planet, how do they become friends with that tree so good? I don't know. None of this makes any sense. I don't like this movie. I think it's trash. It should not have made as much money as it did, and shame on all of you.
So in the next one, it's going to be in Avatar 2. Right. It's going to be in the future, and it's going to have Jake's 3 children plus his adopted human child.
No.
Who has to walk around with a mask on all the time.
Why? Why would he have a human child? Why?
He adopted him from the human place. Hold on, it gets better, Tony.
It can't. I mean, it can't get any better than having a mixed family and one of them being a fucking human that has to wear a mask all the time.
Okay, you know the bad Colonel asshole.
Yeah, I love that guy.
He's back as a Navi. He's back as an avatar in this movie.
No, because he died.
It.
The mech fell over. He died, guys. It signified his extreme death.
No, he's coming back because that's one of those.
What, Sigourney Weaver couldn't come back?
Sigourney Weaver's playing a role in the new movie too.
No.
Yeah.
No, she died. No. These people died in the first one.
Hold on. You know, like there's like the secondary bad guy that was like a bald guy that died in a mech when the Neytiri coming back.
I don't. Is Giovanni Ribisi back?
I don't.
Because if he's not, I'm not watching it. Fuck that movie. If they bring back everybody except for the one guy who was cool in the movie, I'm out.
So the bad guys are the same bad guys from this movie.
Because they worked so well the first time. Oh boy, guys.
You weren't able to get us our unobtainium in the first movie. We're bringing you back 20 years later so you can try again.
Oh, I am very disappointed in you, James Cameron.
Yeah, so this movie, just the whole sort of, just the power dynamics of it, make it just super weird.
Yeah, just like the story and the acting and the dialogue and the action and the direction are not very good, but visually, it's pretty.
Damn pretty movie. And if you wished you could fly, this is the movie for you. You know, if you don't want to watch Hook, this is the movie where you could dream about flying.
Who doesn't want to watch Hook, though? I mean, Hook is a masterpiece compared to this movie.
Masterpiece is something. This is the point of the show where we pick something we like. Tony, tell us about something you like.
I had something lined up, and then this morning, Naomi and I watched a trailer for the new Weird Al movie that's coming out, Weird Al Yankovic, where like Daniel Radcliffe is playing Weird Al.
It's the biopic, sort of.
It's like a comedic biopic. It looks so good. I laughed harder at that trailer than I've laughed at a movie in a while. And I'm very excited. It's coming out in November. So it'll just weeks after this comes out, probably. It looks dynamite. I watched the trailer. It's very weird. It's very quirky. It's very Weird Al. I love it.
Okay, I'm going to watch that once we get off.
Yeah. I'll watch that.
My pick for the week is HBO Max just dropped the Baz Luhrmann Elvis movie.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah,
I'll have to watch that.
Just visually, you know, it's even more Baz Luhrmann than Baz Luhrmann. It's like Baz Luhrmann times 10.
I love it.
And the music is just Baz Luhrmann all over the place, which I like. Yeah. I could see a lot of people not liking that. This is not a biopic. This is a fever dream approach to the existence of Elvis.
That sounds fantastic.
I did not realize Tom Hanks is Colonel Tom Parker.
I only knew it because after I watched the trailer, someone told me that, and I was like, what? That's amazing.
Very interesting. The guy playing Elvis, super interesting. Really like him.
Okay, cool.
Really fun kid.
I'm excited.
I have nothing bad to say about it, but it's not the movie for everybody at all.
For sure. But if I were going to movies in the theater, I would have seen that in the theater.
Yeah, if you're
I want to see it.
If you're a Boz head like me,
I'm a big fan too.
Yeah, I didn't like Australia, but other than that, pretty much.
Yeah, it's okay.
I mean, Australia was whatever.
It's fine.
It's just a movie.
Yeah.
So Tony, we've waited a couple 3 weeks. Now you finally get to pick again.
Yes, and I am so excited, Dan.
Ooh, he's excited.
So, this week's movie, a special effects extravaganza. Okay. So I was like, let's follow it up with another special effects extravaganza from 1995.
1995.
Where they make the lead character a dinosaur who walks around in the real world. And he's a cop, I think, and with Whoopi Goldberg. And this is, of course, Theodore Rex. The seminal classic Theodore Rex.
This is one of those movies that I remember sort of seeing somewhere on a list or something. I was like, what the fuck is that? Didn't write it down, so I've never revisited it, never run across it in my searches. Oh my God, it's going to be like...
That's too bad. I bought it on DVD, and I'll send you a link.
Oh, so you can't...
You cannot stream this movie anywhere. It's going to be so good.
I'm so excited. Theodore Rex. Oh,
Theodore Rex, baby.
Is it a suit? Is it a robot suit, sort of?
It looks like the suit. It kind of looks like the show Dinosaurs. That's what it kind of reminds me of. And I'm really excited about it.
Oh, that obnoxious baby on Dinosaurs. Oof.
I'm the baby. Gotta love me. Yeah, it's good. So true. I love you.
Well, I think we're not gonna be that long over. So, whew.
It's at we're at 140. We bullshit in the beginning. It's gonna be okay. People are gonna love it.
We don't have to split this.
It's shorter than the movie.
Sure.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, this movie was terrible.
It's not good.
So thank you, whoever it was that recommended this. I'm glad we went back to it. It was a really good movie to rewatch.
Somehow I totally forgot that this movie even existed until you brought it up again, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's right. That's a terrible film."
Yeah, it was really worth delving into. I think because it talks a little bit about how the movies can really make sociological or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hungry. If you like what you see, leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe, or maybe there's some movie that you want us to watch that we haven't done yet, and it might have been something we already did, in which case we'll say we already did that. We already did. And
then we'll point you to the episode, and then we get another view. It all works out.
You're going to be like, watch Tenet again and do it all again, and we're going to be like, no, never again.
Well, someday we might have to revisit.
No, Tenet. Never going back.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun for you to watch more Christopher Nolan. No.
Is he working on a new movie that we can watch at some point?
I mean, he's got to be, right? He's the best movie maker in the world.
Yeah, that's him and Zack Snyder. Yeah. Ooh, greatest movie.
Hey, I like Zack Snyder.
It's just bots that did that whole thing. People didn't really want the Zack Snyder cut released. He did all that.
I did, and guess what? It was brilliant. 4 hours long feels shorter than Avatar. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hey,